Hi everybody, welcome back. Okay guys, I have been putting off doing this video because honestly, I have had enough of Harry and Meghan for 1 year. But I have to do this because I can just shake my head at comments on places like Instagram, Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. And yes, before I sink into the depths of despair, let me explain. Archwell is not broke or in the red at all. They did spend more than they actually got in this year. But remember, they still have $9 million left in the bank from last year. So I downloaded Archwell Foundation's public disclosure copy of Form 990. So last year, it was disclosed that since registering the foundation they received donations to the value of $13,004,470. We also by now know that the 13 million came from two donors and the $4,470 from a variety or group of sugars. Now, this year's contribution totaled $2,911. Last year's investment income was $1,190, and this year's $4,141. Because remember, what was left last year, that 9,018,590 spent some time in the account. So obviously more interest, etc., etc. So basically, Archwell had that 9,018,590 plus the $2,911 plus $4,141 available to work with in 2022. Now, in the 2021 book year, they donated $3,096,319 plus $163,085 in salaries and wages. This year, however, they donated only $1,252,895 and $640,441 on wages and salaries. So I'm going to draw you two pictures. Okay, so this one shows you exactly that although Archwell had almost as much money to work with in 2022 as in 2021, they donated a far smaller percentage. Indeed, in the 2021 book year, they donated 23% of what they had available to them. But in the 2022 book year, they donated only 11% of what was available to them. So, yes, although they spent more than they actually received in donations, $674,485 more to be precise, they still have $8,344,105 sitting comfortably in the Archwell Foundation bank account. Another thing you need to understand before you feel in the least bit sorry for them is that salaries and wages in the 2021 book year was $163,085, and in the 2022 book year it was $640,441. The difference being a full $477,356. Thus, 70% of their losses for this year is basically due to overspending on salaries and wages. Also, what they classify as other expenses was 727,666 in 2021 and 786,201,000 in 2022. $58,535 more. So let's look at the wages and salaries for 2022. James Holt, Executive Director, well, that is what they call him, received $227,405. Michael Dale Stein, which they call the Senior Strategic Advisor, $140,115, and Shauna Knepp, they call her Co-Director, Treasurer, and Secretary, $92,994. Well, first and foremost, before I go into anything else, Mr. Stein, redundant because he is doing a shit job. Or the Dutch ass is not listening to him anyway. Now, I would like to know the following. If a corporate secretary earns between $49,000 to $78,000 per year, a specialist secretary between $47,000 and $61,000 per year, why are they paying Miss or Ms. Neb $92,994 just because she is also named co-director? Co-director and secretary? That just shows me that Harry and Meghan have no clue how business, a charity, or anything else where money is concerned actually works. Then we get to other expenses. Now, some of it went to paid or compensated independent contractors, and these contractors are Invisible Hands LLC, $180,524. Hurley Loughran, $127,807, and Yori Craig, $120,000. Now, who are these people? Well, looky here. Just look. Who is the founder and CEO of Invisible Hands LLC? Meghan's old pal, yes, her pal, Genevieve Roth, who was the former aide to Hillary Clinton. Hurley Loughran is a company which links influential people, bring ideas to life, and turning intention into action, or so they say. The co-founder is somebody we've met before, Beth Loughran, who was indeed Meghan's assistant private secretary and in charge of the official program for the Sussexes' trip to Africa and elsewhere, and many of Meghan's official engagements in the United Kingdom. Clara Loughran is the other founder and partner, and Clara too has over a decade of experience working for the royal family. She was Harry and Meghan's program manager. She was in charge of Harry's domestic meetings and events. And she has worked on every Invictus Games since 2014. She's also a member of the Royal Victorian Order since 2019. But to get back to Beth for a second, she also worked for the Royal Foundation. She's also an integral member of the sporting membership team at Goodwood, where she manages corporate and private accounts. And she is involved in a number of organizations who work to help women and children who are or who were victims of domestic abuse. Just let your minds go and try and think who else in the royal family is involved in domestic abuse programs and foundations. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm not going to go into anything further, but I think those of you who are still arguing that Eugenie, who does not know where or when William and Catherine will be doing something or going somewhere, a mole with no access or one with access. Which one would you choose? Okay, and then Yori Craig. She is the head of digital integrity at ISD. Now, I'm not going to tell you about ISD. They're basically German based, and you can go Google it. She was previously a vice president of a global political firm. She is an expert at measuring the impact of digital communication and influence campaigns on public opinion. Let that sink in. But I guess when it comes to Yuri and her speciality, it was also money wasted. Anyway, so let's look at other expenses. Legal expenses, $113,326. Why on earth would Archwell's foundation's legal expenses be that high? Yes, Harry and Meghan had been in litigation, but not Archwell, not that I know of, and their registration and other legal paperwork would have been filed under 2021. Are they, perhaps, billing some of their personal legal fees to the Archwell Foundation? Obviously, I don't know, but it sure as hell looks like it. Accounting amounts to 19,800, and that is okay. I mean, that sort of looks very normal to me. Then it goes to other $534,780. Good Lord, what other can there be if they bill 57,277 to office expenses? I mean, geez, Louise, how much printing and writing do they do? I taught school this year, printed stuff every single day, and ink cartridges, because they're mostly imported, are expensive here in South Africa. I only use black and red gel pens because of my shoulder and because it glides better over the paper. And those are about 3 to 5 times more expensive than normal ballpoint pens. We use printing paper, reams and reams of printing paper, school lined paper books, notebooks for me, art supplies, and I swear, if my office expenses exceeds the equivalent of 500 to $800 per year, I would likely commit harikiri. Okay, I guess they bill things like tea or coffee and snacks to the office as well. But 57,000 worth? Really? Okay, then $34,475 was billed to travel expenses. Yes, that is about 4 private jet flights and a couple of rental vehicles to take you 200 meters to your venue. And then event costs of $25,087. What event? They themselves did not host a single fundraising event themselves. They are far too lazy. I think the entire reason why they received 13 million in the first year and only 2 million this year is because during the first year, they lobbied their rich neighbors and rich so-called friends for donations, and then they could not do so again this year. I mean, they have this beautiful estate in Montecito, yet it appears they are embarrassed by it because not only are they always filming elsewhere, but they could easily host a medium-sized fundraiser there, an auction, a ball or a dinner, or even just a casual games day. But no, they never, ever, ever intended working for their money. No, 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 no. Megan has the gimme, gimme, gimme because I want mentality. Anyway, again, the 2 million came from only two donors, and we can't see who they are. And I'm going to venture a guess and say the one donor for 1 million was Archwell Productions, and the other something like Pika Publishing, or wherever the money for Harry's book, that 20 million so-called advance went to. Eventually, we get to the list of organizations they donated to, and I'm literally going to run through it because really, after the verdict concerning Harry's case against the Mirror, I am so irritable that I really can take only so much talking about the two grifters in one day. But we shall talk about that verdict, I promise. Let me just cool down a little, okay? But let's soldier on with at least this video. Georgetown, 200,000. That is basically an organization, and they gave them the money to support them on gender justice and training, whatever that entailed. Kaboom Incorporated, 165,000 to create this space for play therapy and healing for children at De Leon. NAACP Empowerment, 125,000. Okay, we know that was actually payment for that award. Remember? The Halo Trust, 100,000. That is for medical supplies, assistance, and shelter for refugees or people fleeing their area. The Hope Lab, 100,000 to support the youth for responsible tech. Remember, we saw that little video on Harry and Meghan having a conversation with these teenagers, remember? Then Equimundo, 65,000 to support their State of the World and Fathers report. Girls Who Codes, 65,000. A research program on American motherhood. HIAS, HIAS Incorporated, 50,000 for services to Ukraine refugees. Wellbeing International Incorporated, 50,000, and that seems to be a canine welfare organization. Parents Together Foundation, 50,000. Tech accountability as it relates to parents and families, and also obviously that led to that do where she wore that white pantsuit with off the shoulder jacket kind of thing, remember? Okay, and then I'm just going to run through the others. Purpose, 44,000. Equimundo, again, 25,000. Project Healthy Minds, 25,000. Free Press, 25,000. The Marcy Lab School, 25,000. Remember, we saw those photographs of Megan wearing that college jacket, remember? Save the Children Nigeria, 10,000, and UNICEF Nigeria, 10,000. No wonder the Nigerians are just too happy for Megan to say she is 43% Nigerian. I mean, if it wasn't for the money, they would have laughed at her. I can guarantee you that. They're not that dumb not to know that it is absolutely impossible But you keep forking over the dollars and they will agree to anything. Anyway, I think at this point, so would I. So I'm not going to comment on the organizations they donated to, but I've said the same of many of the charities and organizations King Charles supported when he was still prince, and why I am so much more respectful of William's project. William appears to be more outcome based. By tackling homelessness, building and providing accommodation, and providing a long term solution, having a physical action plan. And at the end of the day, there will be a physical product to show for their effort. The same with Earthshot. Whether you support the climate change ideology or not, the inventions and innovations are practical long-term plans and solutions, far more practical and outcome-based than many of these airy-fairy organizations supported by Harry and Meghan. I'm going to be honest and just say what I think, okay? When I look at the ventures supported by William and Catherine, I see not only money, but also physical effort going into it. They are there, they visit these places, they listen to the people, etc. But when I look at Harry and Meghan, I see money being flung around to buy popularity. And that, my dears, is the difference between old money and class and new money and common, all in my not so humble opinion. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut this video short because there is so much else I still want to get to, and time is running out so fast. In 9 days, it will be Christmas, and in 44 days, we have to move, and we don't even know where to yet, blah, blah, blah. I just have so much on my plate and so much I want to talk to you about. So I'm going to take off for now, but we'll be back very soon. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.